Give you an example. Someone passes away. May Allah give them Jannatul Firdaus. Someone close to you passes away. Someone perhaps has an accident and they break their bones or become paralyzed. What a big test. May Allah make it easy for such people. Someone, for example, loses a job and they cannot pay for example, perhaps the monthly installments that they're supposed to be paying for something they might have bought or purchased, and then it's taken away from them. It's repossessed and so on, and it becomes a massive challenge. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is obviously testing us. I know of people who lose their faith sometimes and they start thinking to themselves, after having been obedient for so many years, they start saying, you know what, where is Allah? What is He doing? Where is Allah in my life? I'm sick, I'm ill, and I'm just not getting better, and I'm praying every day for the last 20 years. It hasn't helped me. I remember entering a hospital once and there was a person who was telling me, I'm considering abandoning Islam. And I said, why? So he says, because I'm a Muslim, I've been praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for so long and I'm just not getting better. I said, well, you know what? Two things. What are you considering becoming? He says, I'm looking into this faith and that faith, and he gave me a few names. I told him, I know of people in that faith you want to go into who are even worse than you. And I know of people in the other faith who are also quite sick. It's not got to do with what faith you belong to. It's got to do with the test of that faith that you have. That's what it is. You cannot say, I'm abandoning Islam because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not curing me. Well, everyone has to die at some point. Are you going to say, I'm abandoning belief in totality because people die? If that's the case, you've lost what is going to come after that death. And this is what makes you a believer. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us an understanding. So, some people lose their faith when they're tested, and others become stronger when they're tested. You know, when you have a problem, you start calling out to Allah, oh Allah help me, oh Allah guide me, oh Allah strengthen me, I've got an examination, oh Allah open the doors. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may or may not give you exactly what you've asked, but He will definitely keep in store for you something in lieu of the prayer that you have made, subhanallah. So you're never at a loss. If I say, oh Allah help me to pass this examination, I might fail it. But that prayer of mine was not a waste. The reason is, as a result of calling out to Allah, that act of worship was so blessed that perhaps the other examination in the hereafter, He will make me pass it. And He will say, look, we might not have given you success in that exam, the mathematics test that you had, that you were praying for, but we gave you something bigger, and that is the success in this huge exam on this particular day, the Day of Judgment. May Allah grant us ease on that day. Ameen. So, when we look at things, we will always understand the plan of the Almighty. And sometimes, if we don't, we should be believing that there is a bigger plan. The Almighty definitely has something that we don't realize and recognize. So, going back to the point I was making, some people lose their faith. Some people become strong. Some people, after having worshipped Allah for so long, something happens in their lives that makes them falter. And you have some people who spent their lives in the disobedience of the Almighty, doing that which was against what the Almighty had asked. But towards the end, Allah gave them the tawfiq, the acceptance, the goodness, and the opportunity to turn, and they turned. They turned in such a way that they became better people. They stopped their sins. They sought the forgiveness of Allah. And you know what, my brothers, my sisters, when you seek the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't ever let the devil come to you and make you doubt the mercy of Allah.